1991. The USSR flag slides off the Kremlin roof. No nukes, no tanks, just a fax that reads, "We're done." Boom. Cold War over. Capitalism wins, right? Roll credits, cue the fireworks. Not so fast. History's not a Hollywood movie. The scoreboard is messier, full of half-wins, face plants, and weird flexes like space monkeys and black market Levi's. Stick with me, and we'll see who really walked away stronger when the last curtain fell. Flashback to 1945. Europe is rubble. Half the continent's sipping warm Coke, the other half's queuing for cold bread. Washington launches the Marshall Plan, billions in aid plus shiny factories and jukeboxes. Moscow fires back with 5-year plans, collective farms, and a red promise that nobody would ever starve again. At first, both sides look good. The U.S. is cranking out Chevys and refrigerators like candy bars. The Soviets rebuild Stalingrad in record time and pump out more steel than they know what to do with. But then life throws curveballs. When the 1973 oil crisis hits, capitalist economies stumble. Prices spike, but they bend, adjust, keep breathing. In the East, instead of bending, the shelves just empty. Ration cards get bigger, soup bowls get smaller. Advantage, capitalism. Now, Cold War wasn't just boardrooms and breadlines, it was cosmic theater. 1957. Soviets launch Sputnik, first satellite, first beep-beep from orbit. America panics, builds NASA overnight. 1961, Yuri Gagarin orbits Earth. Moscow flexes hard. Communism sends the first man to space. But then 1969, Neil Armstrong plants a flag on the moon. Game changer. Americans declare, capitalism works. Look, we left footprints on another world. The space race wasn't about science. It was proof of which system could dream bigger. By the 70s, the U.S. is spinning space shuttles. The Soviets are stuck with duct tape on Soyuz. While rockets fly, real wars burn. Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Africa. Each side hires other countries to throw the punches. Here's the trick. America's economy can flip a factory from rifles to microwaves overnight. Today's tank plant is tomorrow's toaster factory. The Soviets, one-factory towns. When the rifle orders stop, whole cities starve. Meanwhile, capitalism sells victory as lifestyle. Blue jeans and Coca-Cola sneak through the Iron Curtain like cultural contraband. In Eastern Europe, people trade a month's wage for Levi's because denim equals freedom. The USSR had tanks, the US had Pepsi, and Pepsi won. Then comes the 1980s arms race. Reagan drops billions into Star Wars, a space laser defense system that may or may not work but looks terrifying. The U.S. economy just whips out the credit card. Deficits balloon, but Wall Street keeps rolling. Japan buys treasury bonds. The World Bank rolls the spree. The Soviets? They're blowing a quarter of their tiny budget on nukes they can't afford, smuggling computer chips inside tourists' luggage, and falling decades behind. By the way, between the two of them, they built over 60,000 nuclear warheads. In case you're wondering, you only need one to ruin your day. Here's the part textbooks skip. The Cold War wasn't just missiles and maps, it was culture. Soviets dominated Olympic hockey until 1980. The U.S. team of scrappy college kids pulled off the miracle on ice. America didn't just beat a team. It beat communism on live TV. Meanwhile, jazz, rock and roll, Hollywood movies, they leak through cracks in the Iron Curtain. Elvis and Levi's were scarier than NATO tanks. You can ban democracy, but good luck banning disco. Enter Gorbachev. Glasnost opens the windows, perestroika cracks the market door, but you can't half-open Pandora's box. Poland legalizes solidarity. Hungary cuts holes in the Iron Curtain. East Germans picnic on the Austrian border. By '89, the Berlin Wall becomes a souvenir stand. 2 years later, the Soviet deficit is 20%. Shops are empty. Republics bolt for independence. On Christmas Day, 1991, Gorbachev signs the USSR out of existence. Capitalism wins, but it's not a knockout punch, more like communism tripped on its own shoelaces. Here's where it gets tricky. Yes, capitalism won. GDP in Eastern Europe tripled, trade exploded, McDonald's opened in Moscow, Lenin statues turned into ironic hipster photo ops, but victories got fine print. In the 90s, Russia's male life expectancy crashed below 65. Billionaires popped champagne while teachers sold vegetables on sidewalks. And in the West, American wages flatlined after the 1970s. Inequality ballooned. China, still communist on paper, mixed markets with party control and leapfrogged to the world's #2 economy. So who won? If the prize was global logos, yeah, capitalism. If the prize was justice, equality, or peace, jury's still out. Capitalism beat communism because it could bend without breaking, borrow money from the world, and turn missiles into microwaves. Communism collapsed because you can't run an empire on ration cards and lies forever. But here's the kicker. Declaring final victory is like calling the marathon at mile 20. Capitalism now faces its own bosses. Climate change bills, tech monopolies, and billionaires stacking wealth like video game coins. So yeah, capitalism won the Cold War. But the idea game? That's still in overtime.